Ron, what are you doing here?
I live here, Dad. You weren't half coppit coming home this time of night.
What do you mean, coming home this time of night? I've been out in the streets looking for you. Half out of my mind with worry I've been.
Dad, what are you doing?
I'm going to teach you a lesson. While you're living in this house, you're still under my jurisprudence. Now then, go. I want to know exactly what you've been doing, who you've been talking to, where you've been until this...
Good evening.
Hello, hello, hello. Well, I must say, this is a nice thing to come and find this. Well.
I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Then it's a good job I come back then, isn't it? Might I ask you, young lady, what you're doing here?
Well, Mr. Glum...
I don't believe a word of it! I don't believe a word of it! It's just a pack of lies!
Dad, I won't let you talk to Ethel.
Shh, keep your voice down. You want all the neighbours to hear my shame.
Shame? What shame?
Locking your father out so that you can grapple about on the sofa with a bint!
Oh. Mr. Glum, he didn't lock you out and I'm not a bint. As a matter of fact, I'm your son's...
Yes?
No, Ron, you must tell him.
Tell him what, Eth?
You know, beloved, what happened in the pictures?
Oh. Well, there was these two rustlers, you see, Dad, and they come riding up.
No, never mind, Ron, I'll tell him. Mr. Glum, tonight, your son and me, we became engaged.
What? Engaged? What? Both of you? Is this true, Ron?
We wanted you to be the third to know, Dad.
How do you mean the third?
Well, Eth and me know already.
What, engaged? What, engaged to be married? Oh, I might have guessed, mightn't I? Oh, yes. His unemployment pay was 1 and 11 down last week, 9pence the week before. I might have tumbled that he got involved with a woman.
Aren't you going to congratulate us?
Congratulate you, I'm not going to let my boy get tied up to a woman of your ilk.
What's wrong with my ilk?
Why? The ilk that brings a lad home at this hour?
But
I won't tolerate...
Glum.
Do you mind?
Well,
do you
yes.
mind?
Well,
do you mind on my own lino?
Well,
if you
yes,
don't mind. May I get a word in edgewise, please?
All I wanted to say is we love each other.
That is entirely irreverent. I'm not having my son getting tied up to the first fortune-hunting adventuress what snaps him up in the 1 and 4s.
Snaps him up in the... Mr. Glum, we've been seeing each other for nearly a year.
Oh, you have you? Oh, this is another bit of news for me, isn't it? Oh, a 12-month, is it? So that's what it's been all about, all that business of can I go up the high street and watch the traffic jams? That was all just... it was all just lies, was it? Lies and deceits, throwing dust in your poor old father's face so that you can have these Candlestein meetings.
Well, I couldn't tell you about it, Dad. I knew how you'd go on about it. Look at that other time I went out with a girl. You mucked that up, didn't you?
I should think I did muck it up. She was a widow of 43 with 7 children. 2 of them with oriental features. You don't know about women, Ron. I had to go round and remonstrate with her.
You went round every night for a month, Dad.